Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for being so flexible with this. I didn't realize you were already in the UK for your tour. I thought you still were going to be in your hometown for a few days. That's why I was so confused. I'm like, wait, it's already 1 a.m. for you. So thank you for your flexibility. I really appreciate
Oh
it.
yeah. No, it's all good. I'm just here in my quarantine, so yeah, not much more to do anyways.
Yeah, that is true. I've been doing only virtual interviews, but I actually really like this format. It's a bit more laid back than red carpets, which of course I love the red carpets, but I feel like this is more
Oh.
intimate. So
So what color carpet are you on?
I'm actually on a really, I was about to say boring. It's not boring. It's gorgeous bamboo hardwood floor.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm on hardwood too. So we're on the hardwood carpet.
Yes. You know what? I think that's a good idea. They should start doing those because it's really easy to slip on a carpet, especially for those people in high heels. And sometimes they just lay down like a strip and put duct tape on either side. So I think premieres should be super bougie and start doing hardwood floor
Mm.
carpets.
Nice. I like that. Or just solid gold ones.
Yes, solid gold with glitter. You have to have a bit of
Mm.
glitter.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know, you're so innovative. What a great idea. And you were just such an innovative person. That actually kind of leads me into what I mainly wanted to focus on in this interview. I know you've not exhausted, but you've answered so many questions about Canada's Drag Race, which I do want to touch on. But I also was hoping you'd be cool to touch on kind of the Jimbo brand as a whole. Does that sound okay?
Sure.
Awesome. So I was looking at your House of Jimbo show, and you know it's doing well on Kickstarter. I think you're like a third, a fourth of your goal. So fingers crossed we can bring that to life. But I think
Thank
it's,
you.
of course, I love how kind of the pitch, so to speak, for that show is elevating the Jimbo brand. And obviously, we saw your brand, so to speak, on Canada's Drag Race. But since being on that show, how has your brand changed, or has it stayed the same and just been more emphasized, if that makes sense?
Well, I still think I'm kind of getting used to being a brand or sort of becoming a brand. I've never really identified so much as a brand as an artist
Hmm.
and a fringe artist. So it's sort of it's a new thing to be branded, and the House of Jimbo is literally my house, and it's been my house for 13 years that I've been working on. So it sort of was just this year that it shifted from just being Jimbo's house and to being the House of Jimbo with a logo and the imagery and all of that. So I don't know if my brand has so much shifted yet as it has just developed. And so this is my first sort of take at having a logo, and I've run out of my home studio, a production studio where I've been an independent designer for film and theater. And so with this new shift in my work being more focused around my drag and my own personal performance, it's really the first time I've really put that focus on myself and on really sort of putting my own vision and my own story first and saying, okay, this is the project now. This is what my focus is now. And so that's really exciting. And sort of that's the House of Jimbo is a long project that's been developing over many, many, many years. More than 10 years. I really think about, my whole life I've really been dreaming of something like this, and so it's wonderful that I'm finally at the stage now where things are clearer
Yeah.
and I have some Kickstarter money coming, and we're really moving in the direction of making this show happen. And we've got a new space beside my studio that we're renovating, and it's just really, really exciting.
Yes, I love it. And yeah, your brand seems very comprehensive and intricate, which I love. That's also what drew me to you on the show. You're also one of my mom's favorites, which is so cool. She's gotten into Drag Race starting All Stars season 4, and so she watches it with me. We love your kind of quirky personality and just everything you stand for, and you're so kind. And
Thank
I,
you.
of course, what I'm so excited about for the House of Jimbo show is I think it's very telling just how important the arts is to the world. There's that whole saying, it's kind of cheesy, but without art, the earth is just eh. And your show is going to encompass everything. I read like you're going to do cabaret, you're going to do interviews, you're really trying to do the whole 9 yards, make sure it's as artistic, so to speak, as possible. I put that in quotes because artistry can differ, but you're taking all the elements that come to my head when I think of that word, putting them into this show. And unfortunately, with the pandemic, Broadway's closed, movie premieres aren't happening, not even on hardwood floors. So I'm wondering if you have any thoughts just on why the arts are so important to you, and then why you think it's important to still have access to them, even in this kind of different form when we're in the midst of a pandemic. That was the longest way to ask the simplest question. I'm so
No,
sorry.
I wanted to hear your point of view, so that's wonderful. I think that this, art is always, the artists will always rise to the surface. And, nothing like trying to be kept down, or, feeling like what we're used to is not possible. That's sort of when artists really kick in and go, okay, so what can we make possible? How do we rise to the occasion and self-express and try to make the most out of this time? And so I think it's been a real remarkable shift for many artists to really have to deal in new mediums and start working more online. And yeah, so the House of Jimbo show is sort of in response to that. I had to sort of, I've always sort of had to create my own space to perform, and I've really loved to create my own performance space and entertainment space, and really curate my own vibe and experience for people in my home and also in my shows, and in the shows I design for other people. And so the House of Jimbo is really going to be kind of perfect kind of for this pandemic time, where I'm going to be working in my own home with the people in my bubble, which are the Studio 549, who are my friends and colleagues on the top floor of my building, and my partner Brady and some close friends. And the idea is to create this live show that has a very small audience element. And so we'll be able to bring in small groups of people, be socially distant, and it's cool because the notion around a sold out show is much different now.
Oh,
Uh, Before, you'd need to have the whole place packed and standing room only for it to be a successful show. And now you can have a show with 50 people, and that's the sold out show. And so it's really changed the perspective around events, and really shift the focus to smaller events. And sometimes smaller, more intimate events are really the more exciting events, where people feel more free to kind of experiment. And yeah, so I think it's a really exciting time to try and be an artist.
it is, and I'm definitely a huge fan of the smaller shows. One, for the reasons you mentioned, also because I'm very short. I'm only 4'10" and 3/4, so I really standing room only shows I can't do.
Right.
I just can't see. So I kind of just close my eyes and like listen to the music or whatever. But and beyond that type of new idea of sold out, there's also the idea of online sold out shows. It's either sold out if there's a ticket limit, or if your server crashes. So I think there's just all different ways of what it means to have a sold out show. And if a show is sold out and it's because there are only 100 tickets or something, that obviously is not indicative of it being successful. Or I think that's also an important thing to remember. Like, the fact that people want to go in the first place is, in my mind, is what makes something successful. So
I agree. Yeah.
yeah.
I like that.
And I wanted to ask too a little bit about Canada's Drag Race. I know you just did an interview with is his name Joseph?
Yes,
Joseph
Joseph
Shepherd.
Shepard.
I couldn't remember his name, even though I watch all his like exposed interviews. But I know that he focuses more on like, the show and stuff, so I don't want to like make you repeat anything. But I am wondering,
Okay.
thank you. I am wondering if you would say, going back to the whole idea of having a brand, even if the brand is literally yourself, your character, if you think Canada's Drag Race helped you explore a different part of your brand, or uncover something, or even on the show you're like, wait, I thought was my brand, this is actually not me at all. Any like self-discovery moments, I guess.
Yeah, so I always love to say yes to all opportunities I'm presented with. And same with friendships, I love to say yes. My sort of life, I love to just say yes, see where it takes me. And every time I say yes, I grow and I learn and I meet new friends and I have new experiences and I make discoveries about my process and about other people's process that really help to change and inform my art and also lead to connections that I wouldn't have gotten if I had said no. And so everything I do is all it all weaves into to be my life story and to my benefit to be present and to be able to share. And so going on Canada's Drag Race, that was an opportunity to up my game. And when I applied on the show, I said to them that I will try as hard as I can. I will become more beautiful. I will show you the best version of myself. I will leave that show changed. I will rise and become even better. And I will share that with the world. And that is what I told to them the first time I talked to them. And I said, that is my plan. And so, you know, being on the show and pushing myself to present what I presented, and then the feedback that I received, it fuels it in this sort of circle of awesome. And so I feel stronger in myself. I feel so loved and supported. I feel responsible. I feel grateful, and I feel changed for the better. And I feel like I'm better with my makeup. I feel like I really have a platform and a message that can connect and can help influence change. And so that is my dream, and I am wanting to do that more.
I love that. Well, I definitely think you fulfilled that plan, that circle of awesome. I love that phrase, by the way. I'm gonna steal it if that's okay with you.
Yes,
Um, I think that another thing with Canada's Drag Race, really any competition show is you kind of, I don't know if this is the fandom, I don't know if this is just the nature of a competition because I've never done like a TV competition, but people seem to kind of equate placement or whether you win or not with success. And again, just like I was saying about the sold out shows, that's simply not the case. I mean, what you just said to me, and obviously you did get very far, and I want to congratulate you on that. But the fact that you can, of course, the fact that you can walk away and say, I'm better at makeup, I'm better at, dancing, I'm better at designing, I'm better at whatever. Like in my opinion, and maybe this is just because I'm a like optimistic person, it's like that's a win in my book.
for sure. That was after when you're eliminated and everyone checks in on you. I really did feel that, and I still feel like I won in so many ways. And so, yes, of course, the main goal of the premise of the show is $100,000, the title of Canada's Next Drag Superstar. But who's to say that there's only one? And um, I've never been given $100,000, and I've worked for everything I've done, and I am not afraid of working, and I am not afraid to get that money on my own. And I know that I will drive myself to get more than that. And I do feel like Canada's Next Drag Superstar. I feel like all of our girls on that show are Canada's Next Drag Superstar. Just because, you aren't crowned on that show, I don't know, crown your damn self. I feel like Canada's Next Drag Superstar. And I don't need a crown to tell me that. I just need to be that.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to push myself to be that because I want to be that. And I want to entertain people and connect to people and spread love and spread joy through beauty, performance, and drag and clowning and authenticity and love and connection.
I love that. I love all the words you just said. I was like thinking, are those nouns? Yeah, I think they're considered nouns because they're things, even though they're like
Oh my God.
yeah,
I was
you
away that
wouldn't
part
even
of
know I went to
school.
college. I promise I'm smart. No, I was like, I really like all those words that you just used to explain how you can do something, because a lot of times someone could be a great drag queen or really any profession, but if they don't have the passion, eventually it's gonna show. I hate to break it to everyone, although I'm sure you guys know. And with you, I think it really shows that this is a passion and that you went on the show with the obviously the intention to win, but also to grow yourself. And I think it's really powerful and speaks to you as a person that I could just see that even without knowing you before this interview. So props to you on that
Oh,
as
thank
well.
you.
Of
Thank
course.
you.
And I know the show doesn't have like a formal untucked, so to speak, at least it's not called that, but they do show you all, during deliberation. There were some great moments in there. I'm wondering which one sticks out to you the most.
Well, I Untucked is one of my favorite parts of the show, and it's also one of the only times during that experience that you really get to talk to each other
Mhm.
about anything freely and openly. So that it was really fun to have a little drink and to sit down when you're not really competing, and the cameras are rolling, so you want to be entertaining because we're making the television show, so you don't want to just sit there and be like, yeah, I'm like just like chilling, I'm just like feeling quiet right now. So it's more fun to interact and to see where these characters are going to go and what they're going to say. I loved, my favorite part of being Untucked is sipping on my drink. I love just when you're at the bottom of the glass and you're just like, "Woo, girl!"
Yeah, I think it's like a whole
I love
meme
that part.
now.
I love that part when you're just like and sipping and looking back and forth. It's fun, it's exciting. I would love more free time to play with my sisters when we're in drag, where we could just like, make a fool of ourselves and run around the workroom. I wish, there was more opportunities for that sort of chaos. And so it was really fun. And of course, the pageant episode where I go off about Jeffrey and I go off on Rita and I turn into a diva bitch, that was cringy, funny, hilarious, iconic. It was all the things. And so, of course that sticks out of my mind because people practiced it and learned it, and I loved that. I thought that was so hilarious to see people lip syncing me being a shady hoe. And it's also funny, just seeing myself pushed to that place, because that's such a unique spot to be in, to be on your dream in your favorite place and to be that bitch that you love to watch, and you're like, oh fuck, I am that girl that is snapping off, and I didn't think it was going to be me. I thought I'd be sipping on my drink watching someone else be that girl, and that's fucking me.
No,
So I
I love
died. I was like, oh my god, I didn't know, that it would be that, but there you go.
Yeah, you just scared me like greatly because I would be the person like in the back with my drink, but you're saying you thought you were that person and then you like kind of went to the other side. So maybe I'm gonna
Yeah.
go to that other side if I'm ever witnessing a ton of drama. It's like
Yeah,
you
you don't know. You literally don't know. It's before you even know it's happening, it's happening. And in that case, when the floodgates opened and I realized, oh, I can just say whatever the frick I want right now. I've got the freaking talking stick. And then I just let her have it by accident because it just like started to flow out of me. And I was just like, I said what I said. But um it was just funny. It's funny to watch it. It's still funny to me. It's shocking and funny. So
yeah, no, I love it. Honestly, like Untucked, I was hoping WoW would release like a full like Untucked like 30 minutes after, but they didn't. But I'm glad we still got to see a little behind the scenes. So, or did they release
I'm
it
so
and I
glad
just
too.
missed it?
They released an Untucked exclusive about the finale
Okay.
where I read everyone as Joan Rivers, but I'm not sure if they had some other Untucked. I wish they would have released Untucked. There was another fight I had with Rita that they didn't even show in the episode too. That would be so funny. But
Are you allowed
there's
to
a
say
whole bunch of
what
stuff.
it
But
is or no?
no, I'm not allowed to say. I probably shouldn't even said that. But
Okay, well, I'll confirm with you if you need to check with anyone. I'll hold this interview until we know for sure because I don't want to get you sued. Of course, of course.
I
And
think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine
okay, cool.
as long as I don't talk about it.
Yeah. Honestly, I could have said myself, "Oh, I'm sure there were other fights you got into when."
Oh, there was other fights. It got spicy.
you could have said yes, and then, yeah, I think it's fine. You didn't really give anything away. So, World of Wonder, don't come for us. We didn't reveal anything. Is that a mimosa?
It's some orange juice.
Nice.
I am, yeah, there's no alcohol in it. Yeah, I'm just sipping orange juice.
No, if there was alcohol in it, that would be fine. I know I look 15. I'm actually 23, so you could drink
Oh
it.
my God, you do look so sweet and young, but I could tell because you said you went to college, so I knew you were older than that.
Oh, that's right. I did give it away. Normally, I remember to ask like at the end of the interviews, because Brooke and Naomi both asked me how old I was. But
Oh, yeah, you do look so sweet and youthful.
thank you.
How do you do it?
Honestly, I don't know. I think it's half part of it is my height, but obviously you wouldn't know, I'm sure. I think it's also just how I do my makeup because I put on well, this is actually nothing. I normally have tons
Oh
of
my God,
glitter.
it's so
So
cute.
I think it's the glitter. I think it just kind of like how I carry myself in interviews as
So are
well.
you moisturizing? Like, how are you gonna hang on to this youth?
I actually, this is so bad. I like don't have a skincare routine.
This is why you can't look a gift horse in the mouth, girl. You've got this skin, you've got this dewy youth. Keep it moist. Keep it moist.
Thank you. Yeah, I will. I need to start. I have like Neutrogena that I use like, when I remember, but
Oh,
I don't
nice.
have like a skincare routine that like is out on YouTube. Although if anyone's interested, I will make one up for you.
Ah,
And I'm wearing
yeah.
Rare Beauty. It's Selena Gomez's new line. So I
Oh,
think that also
beautiful.
thank you. Thank you so much. All right. I just have like two two more questions. Is that okay? I know we went over. If you need to go, like I will let you go.
I have nowhere to go.
Promise, like no rehearsals.
I am in my self-isolation.
Are you still touring though in 3 days?
Yeah, because my self-isolation is officially over today.
Oh, okay, okay. I was like, wait, do we need to talk about like is the Club Kids canceled? Because if so, I need you to get that off your Instagram. But it's not. It's still happening.
Oh yeah, no, we're going on tour. I am in my last day of isolation, and then I'm free as a bird.
Awesome. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't keeping you too long. But the thing I wanted to ask, and I know you've spoken on it a little bit, but I noticed, and it's quite sad. I've noticed that the Drag Race fandom, and this is by no means anyone. I think this is more just anyone who's on in competition. People tend to have a favorite queen, and then all the other queens, it's like they hate them. And it's like you can have a favorite queen and not throw hate to other queens or even to the judges. You can have a favorite judge and not send very mean messages to the other judges. So if you just
Yeah.
want to re-emphasize the importance of kindness for everyone, because I think people don't realize like this stuff does add up and have an impact.
Yeah, it really does. I hope that all of that passion and that feeling and all of that energy can be shifted into positivity, and that we can all respond with that same intensity, but in positivity. And so that's my hope. And this year, this season was so exciting, and it was so talked about, and it was so every week everyone was on and we were all on board, and it was amazing, the energy and the people going to the internet and making the fan art and sharing the love and sharing their favorite parts and making memes, and that aspect of it is just so incredible.
It is.
The love and the support, and really calling each other in and coming together and celebrating and becoming a united community of love and expression. And so I would just really urge everyone to really see all sides of the show,
Mhm.
and to really understand that it's a show, and beyond the show are real people. And so the more positive energy we put towards the show and the people, the more we will have of that show and those people. And so yeah, it's back to that awesome loop that if we all just focus on the awesome and less on the negative, then it's going to create a more fun conversation. And I think that happened. You know, it reached this crescendo, and I really worked very hard to sort of help and to talk to people and to really spread the vibe of let's love, let's be excited about this conversation, let's be passionate about this conversation, but let's be you know, conscious of the humanity. And so I think, you know, that everyone has worked to really change their perspectives and to really help talk to the other people of the fandom. I've noticed on the, you know, when you're scrolling through the comments, you know, the fandom is now sort of trying to sort of police itself and to sort of create its own sort of boundaries on the commenting and the spread of the, you know, the hate and the criticism and the harshness, because there's, you know, all levels of intensity. There's people, you know, at a 1-2 intensity, and then there's people that are responding at like 100, where people are giving death threats and they're saying, you know, I want to end your existence. And so when it cranks to that level, you start tapping into things beyond shows, things beyond entertainment TV. You start tapping into real serious problems and issues that start to really degrade the foundations of the whole thing. And so there is no room for that bullying. There is no room for that hate. There is no room for that hate speech, the racism, the homophobia, the fear, all of that shit that comes in and starts to pollute this. There's no room for that. And so I think it's wonderful that people are starting to see that and just starting to push that out and say, this is our house, our space, our room, and we will not make room for hate because there is no need for it.
Yeah, and you have cultivated a more positive environment even on your own Instagram page, and I want to applaud you for that. And it goes back to the saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. So I think
Yeah.
remember those things you learn in like kindergarten, myself included, not with that rule, but like with just other small things. You know, I think that we would all be in a much better place. So thank you for elaborating on that. I think hearing it from someone who's unfortunately experienced it is very powerful. So thank you for encouraging that. Sorry, that is my dog scratching. I don't know if you can hear
What kind of dog is it?
He is a boxer mix. Let me see if I can get him. I probably can't. 1 second. Bert. Let me just show you.
I was doing some waiting music.
I love it. Hey.
Aw, hi baby. I want to pet it. Aw, you can kind of pet it. I'm scratching behind its ear.
Oh, he loves that.
Aw, hi. Aw, look, I'm inside of this little thing. Hi. Oh my God, what an angel baby.
He is my best friend. I know that sounds so pathetic.
No, that isn't pathetic. That sounds lovely.
He's great. I want to put him in drag sometime. I think that'd be so funny with like anything that's like, safe for him.
Like the RuPaul's Drag Race cat.
Yes. Oh my gosh, the biggest Instagram star. Love them.
I love them, and that was a dream come true seeing them do my looks on there. Oh my God, so
I
cool.
know. Yeah, that account is great. RuPaul's Drag Race, everyone. So like RuPaul, but paw. It's great pun, by the way.
RuPaul's Drag Race.
Speaking of social media, if you just want to kind of recap Instagram, Twitter, mention you're on Cameo, and then just maybe do like a pitch for your Kickstarter campaign for House of Jimbo, that'd be awesome.
Okay, great. So you can find me, Jimbo the Drag Clown, on Instagram at Jimbo the Drag Clown, on Twitter at Jimbo the Drag Clown, on my website, the www.houseofjimbo.com. And you can also find me on Cameo. I do personalized messages for your loved ones and yeah, lots of birthdays, all kinds of stuff. And I also have my Kickstarter for the House of Jimbo, which is a program that I'm working on, going to be shot in my home studio, and will feature myself my drag, my clowns, my friends, and also some of my international sisters that I'm going to get involved in the show, and some original music and animation. So it's really going to be sort of a Pee-wee's Playhouse kind of wild psychedelic trip through my imagination, and we're hoping to get a season, sorry, a pilot shot, get a season going, and yeah, get this into a show with a live audience. Yeah.
That's so exciting. Oh my gosh. I wish you
Yeah.
the best of luck with that. I think that, it's going to be epic and amazing and imaginative. So I'm doing like what you do, adding a bunch of adjectives or nouns. So I just got 3. You gave me like 10 for something earlier, but I'm gonna start doing that.
Yes.
I like it.
Yeah, do it.
I will. Well, Jimbo, thank you so much again for agreeing to this interview and for kind of switching the
Oh
time
my
on me,
God.
being so flexible. I'm really glad that we were able to do this.
It was so nice. Yeah, let's talk anytime.
Yes, I'd love that. I'm based in California, LA, so if you ever, when it's safe, have a performance at Mickey's or Hamburger Mary's, should definitely do a follow-up interview in person. That'd be so fun.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm going as soon as the COVID lifts and things start loosening up, I'm going to be free to travel and come and have fun.
Oh, perfect. Well, then I will definitely email you about that.
Yay!
Awesome. Well, thank you so, so much. Have a great day and enjoy your Club Kids UK tour in a few days. Everyone in the UK
Thank
goes
you
to it.
so much. Yeah, come and see my show. Thank you so much for having me. You are such a sweetheart.
Oh, thank you. You are too. Thank you for opening my eyes to the world of Jimbo, or the House of Jimbo, I should say.
Thank you.
Of
I'll
course.
talk to you soon.
Sounds good. That was great.